Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and I'm back. I was gone all summer working out with my sister up north, cleaning houses with her, eating healthy, learning how to just live a better lifestyle, and I feel awesome. I've shed some weight, I've gained some strength, I've definitely gained some stamina, and I feel really good about it. So I'm glad to be back. I hope to be doing more videos, and today I thought I would just do a fun little video with this little stamp. That is so cool. I got a new webcam. I'm really excited about it. I think it's very clear. This stamp and my Spectrum Noir markers. So if you've been waiting for a coloring tutorial or share, this is it. Let's head down to the table and get started. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this out with Memento black ink. Just a couple times on this paper. So I think what I'm going to do after I color these, I want to give the Memento time to dry so that it doesn't run when I use my Spectrum Noirs. Even though it's not supposed to run, you want to make sure that the ink is dry. And then later on, I'm going to probably cut these and combine them and make it a really cool 3D effect of the flower. So it really won't matter what colors I do wear. And I will clean off that stamp with a baby wipe. And I'm going to go in and start coloring these. And all I did was pick a couple of markers in each color, not a lot of them. So this one is CT2 and CT4. I'm going to start off with the lightest color, and everyone does it a little bit different. And I'm using the little end, okay? Just this tiny end. The Spectrum Noirs are different than Copics in that they don't have the brush end, they have the nib end, and if you have the old ones like I do. So I'm going to start from the inside and go out on this petal, and I'm just flicking it like you would if you had the brush nib, like on a Copic. And then I'm going to take the darker of the colors, the two colors, I'm going to flick that out from the center too. Then I'm going to go back to the lighter one and I'm just going to fill in that edge so that they blend nicely together. And go back in with the darker one, mostly on the inside, because I want the tip to look lighter. You'll see the difference in the two shades. Okay, so the tip looks a little bit lighter. That's what I'm going for. So now I'm going to do this one with the darker color first, just to show you that you can switch it up. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to go in with the lighter color. And I'm just going to quickly go over just that edge and try not to go over it, more than once, just one time to get it colored. And then go back over this part with the darker color again. And if you flick it, you'll automatically get kind of a blended look. You won't have to try really hard. Okay, see how you see the lighter on the outer side of that petal? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that. Darker and lighter. I'll just do this last petal and then I'll move on. Oops, I got my markers switched around. Excuse me. So I'm gonna go with what I have, even though it's a mistake, and flick the darker one out and put this time the lighter one on the inside. And then add a little bit more of the darker one for more of a stark contrast. And now you see that it's dark on the outside and light on the inside. Now I'm going to switch to a different color on this one. And on this outside one, I'm going to use these two colors. There's BT5 and BT7. And they don't look like they're really the same color family. So let's just check it out and see how they blend together. I'm looking again for the smaller nib on the small side. And I'm going to start with the darker one. This time it's a lot easier to see the flick marks because of the darker color. Okay, and then let's take the lighter color and blend in that end. So I'm going to start from where the flick stopped, go over them a few times to make that blend. and then just color the end just really quickly, just one time, because I don't want that end, I don't want this end to get really dark. Then I'm going to go back in again with the dark one. And this time, now that we've got more of that color base down and the paper is wetter, the blending will happen a little bit more naturally. So then I'm going to go out from the dark out here. Blend those two middle where they meet, but not go all the way out to the edge, because then it will make sure that the edge automatically stays lighter. See the difference? Okay, I'm going to do another one. On this one, I'm going to start with the dark. And I'm just kind of going around these little petals here just so that I don't bleed all over into them. Alright. Flick that out. Come in with that little bit lighter color. Flick over the center and then color the very end in just once really quick so that it stays light. And then one more time with each color. You can go back and forth as many times as you want to get whatever desired effect that you're looking for. And now I'm going back in with that lighter color just to make sure that those two colors blended in the middle. Okay, let's try another color on this one. Let's do purple. I think purple would be cool. So I've got an LV1 and an LV3. Notice they're at least 2 steps apart. I had BT5 and BT7, so I didn't have BT6. I had CT2 and CT4, but not CT3. Same idea with this one. I'm going to start with the darker one. Go around these little guys. Flick that darker color out. And then come back in with the lighter color. I'm not getting as much of a blending as I would have liked because these two are really different in color. So I'm going to go over the middle maybe a few more times than I normally would. Try to get a blending that I like. If you don't get a blending that you like, which now I'm really seeing that I'm not getting what I want, I'm going to go ahead and find that middle one. So LV1, LV2, here's the 2, it'll give us another middle color of that. See the difference? And then I'm just kind of scribbling over the top of what we already have laid down, trying to get a really nice blend there, and then go back in with that lighter one. Circular motions, get that blended all together and push it out to the end. Sometimes if you do the lighter one on the darkest one, it'll kind of bleach it out and give it a more blending effect. Get something that looks like that. So if you find that the two colors are way too far apart, like these two seem to be, you might want to just go in with the LV2 and the LV3, but you can do all three too. So let me do one more. I'm going to start with the LV3. I'm sorry, yeah, the LV3. Put some of that dark color in there. Then go in with the LV2. Put that color right over the top. Do a little circular blend here because I don't want to see all those flick marks. And then just kind of go in with the lighter color with another circular blend here to really push it into a, there we go, nice blend. Okay, and then for the centers of the flowers, I think I'm going to do those pink, and I've got a PP3 and a PP5. These also look very different. So these might not blend as well, but let's check it out. So I'm going to start with the lightest one. Notice that that color and the color of the marker are not the same. You really have to get used to the supplies that you have so that you just kind of get to know what they're going to look like when they come out. I'm going to do all these little petals, and I'm going to leave that middle white. So I've got a little bit of a contrast. Because I might want to put a little jewel in there or something. And then I'm going to go in with this PP5. And I'm just going to do a little bit of each one of these petals on the inside. And I might not even have to blend that much because I like the way that looks. So I've gone ahead and just done it once, and you can already see a difference in that, as it's lighter on the outer side than it is on the inside. And if you want to make that even starker, go ahead and go around the inside again, just really close with that color, and add another layer, and it will get darker. That is really cool. I really like the look of those colors. There's our purple one. And there's our yellow one. And our blue one. So the Spectrum Noirs really can be just as versatile and just as beautiful as the Copic markers can. Yeah, off screen I went ahead and finished coloring all of the petals, and then I fussy cut them out. And these two I went around the edges with a black marker. I have a black zig pen here with a brush tip on one end. And you've probably seen this a lot before. We just go around the edges where you fussy cut to cover up that white edge, just to make sure that the project looks finished. So I'm going to finish that up on this one. And then I'm going to take this yellow one and I'm going to cut it apart. I'm going to have to do some of this outlining again, but having the whole thing together first and doing all the outlines will save me a little bit of time once I've cut it apart, because I want to take the center so I can three-dimensionalize it, and then also save the petals to put behind. I'll show you what I mean when I get done. So I'm going to extend the petal in so that it touches those little petals on the inside, because I want to save as much of that petal as I can as I cut these. So as I cut in there, I'm going to come back out now and I'm going to cut each one of these little round petals on the inside. Then as I come around there, I'll hit that part and the petal comes off, but I've saved, 100% of the petal, and I can reuse that and tuck it behind another one like this. Okay, so I'm going to keep going and cut the rest of this flower part. Now this little piece is the piece that I want to go around the edges with. I've already done the edges of this flower, except for where it touched the other one, but if I'm going to tuck this behind, I don't need to do all the teeny tiny edges of these flowers, just maybe this one piece. So I'll go ahead and just put a little bit of black on there in case they stick out. And then take my marker and very carefully cover all the edges of this little guy. There we go. Okay, now that we've got all of our pieces put together, I found a little gem that is yellow like these are going to be. I'm going to put that in the center. And that's because it's going to pull everything together so that all of the colors combined look good together. And I want to put the purple on top. and then the blue, and then the yellow is going to go behind like this. But I want to make sure that it's three-dimensional. So I am going to put some three-dimensional tape on the back here. I want there we go, my scissors that are non-stick here. So for each level I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this on just on the center because I might want to play around with the petals and get this. Alright. And then the yellow ones, I'm not going to do that too. I'm just going to put glue on them. And I'm just going to put them behind where they look good. So I'll put a little, oops, not on that side. Pick it up with my finger and put it on the other side. I'm actually going to have those facing up. So wherever I think that they look good, I'm just going to glue it right to the back of the blue one. So glue on the front and then find a good spot and glue it down. And I've got two more. Just trying to disperse them sort of evenly. It's kind of hard to do, but just put them where you like them. I don't know how many of you guys are going to actually have this kind of flower set or this kind of a flower stamp, but you can do this with practically anything that looks like it's got layers, so just be creative. And then, of course, for this one, I'm going to want this one to layer on. Oops. There we go. So it looks the same. But that one's got to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to cut this one in 4. And then I always save the rest by just putting it on here and saving it for later. And then I'm going to put that like right in the middle, so hopefully we won't see any of that adhesive sticking out. And then line this up so that the same petals reach. I could, I suppose, alter it so it looks like it has more petals, but I think I'm just going to stick with trying to line it up as best I can so that it matches. And then to put this gem on, let me get rid of that garbage. And cap off my glue here. It's really making a mess. You know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a baby wipe and wipe this off quick. This one. Alrighty. I have some glossy accents or some liquid glass if you're a close to my heart person. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that on the middle here. Right in the middle and not a ton, because when I put that on, I don't want all that glossy accent squishing out the sides and showing. And I always store this with the cap on and a pin in upside down right next to my crafty space so that I don't have to shake it down and wait for it every time I need it. And that's going to go right there. Really pretty. And all I needed to make that with was just one stamp. And then any kind of markers or colored pencils or whatever you have that you like, and a gem. I hope that you enjoyed the coloring tutorial. I know it was really simple. If you want more, I guess, coloring things like this using Spectrum Noirs, because that's what you have and you don't have Copics or can't afford them, let me know, and I'll see you guys next video.